is also a form of index. Okay.
Excuse me, ma'am.
Yes. Yes.
Ma'am, can you please record it?
Yes. It is getting recorded. It's Naman. So the signature.
Yes, ma'am, it started now, ma'am. Thank you, ma'am.
Yes, yes. Okay. So signature file is going to be a form of creating index structure for your text data. But the only difference is in case of inverted indexing, okay, we'll be making use of term frequency. Sometimes we will make use of this inverted index querying for performing the for creating index. But in case of signature file, this is also a alternate form of creating indexing for a text file, but we will be making use of hashing technique for performing this. Okay. The drawback of the signature file is it is not suitable for large set of text data. So how you will create an index signature file and how to search it, we have seen in the last class. Okay. Initially, what you will do, you will be given a block of text data. See, in this example, we are seeing a very small quantity of text data. This is only few KBs of data is available here, but we can scale up to several MBs of data, but for GBs of data, this particular signature file will not work out. Okay, that is the drawback of it. So what you will do, you will first divide it into small blocks, and for each text data, okay, for each word, okay, we will remove the this is here, all the connecting words will be removed, and accordingly only for the words which are expected to get searched okay, that alone will be initialized with some hash value. Okay, you will apply a hash function, and the hash function will uniformly get applied over the words, and you will get this hash function result. Okay, so for text the hash value is 000101. For many the hash value is 110000. Okay, so now using these hash values which is available for a word, we will create a hash value for the entire block. Okay, but the thing is, this is here will not be considered. Only for text you will be applying the hash value. Okay, so how to do that, how to compute the block value for each block? For text you give that is the main word, so h of block 1 is equal to h of text, so you will get the same result. Say in the second block, what are the text available, what are the words which are very important, underlined words are important. That means for only for those words we are going to apply the hash, we are going to compute the hash value. Okay, text many, so what you have to do is you have to perform bitwise OR operation between the text and the many. Okay, what is the value of text? Text value is 000101, or okay, or bitwise OR with h many 110000. Okay, so you'll be obviously getting when you're performing bitwise OR 1 plus 0 1 1 plus 0 1 or 0 1 0 0 0 1 or 0 1 0 or 0 0 1 or 0 1. Okay, so in this way you have to compute the hash value for every block. You see in this example, block 3 words, bitwise OR with words. In block 4 made, bitwise OR with letters. So by computing the hash value for each block, you are going to create this as a signature file. So what is a signature file? See, this is the signature file. That is the signature file of the text is nothing but the block value of that is the hash value of each block. So what is the hash value of block 1 double triple 0101? Second is 110101. So in this way you're going to find the get the signature file. And another important aspect is you will be connecting each and every block using a cascaded pointer reference. Do you got it? Block 1 will be connected with block 2 using a pointer reference. So at the end of every block, hash value of every block, there will be a pointer which will be pointing to the beginning of the block to represent that this 000101 belongs to block 1. 11010101 belongs to block 2. Okay, so in this way you will be just wait a minute, I'll just put it as full screen.
Ma'am, how do we calculate the hash values for each of the word? Like, is there any formula or anything?
Standard formula, but the thing is you can apply any hash function. Hash function means you will be applying some that particular block, okay, modulus of the total number of blocks in the particular text. Based on some formula, you can make use of the hash function. There is no standard formula since these signature files are used for some security, like a cryptographic functionality to improve the security of the data. They can encrypt the data using several hash functions. See, by looking into this data, by looking into this data in the signature file, can you decode the actual text? No, it is not easy to decode because we don't know what is a hash function. So only if we create a hash function which is very rigid, okay, so that it will compute some hash value for each block, it will improvise the security of the particular text data that you want to secure. Okay, so hash function is customized. Okay, it is up to the developer to compute the hash value. For example, I'll give you a small example over here. The pen is okay. For example, I will give you a number like a set of numbers I want to say. Okay, so what I'm going to do is that number mod 10. Okay, number mod 10 is going to be my hash function. Okay, so what will be the result? The number mod 10. Okay, for example, 32 is my data that is available in my text file. Okay, that is going to be the value returned by the word. 32 mod 10, what is the result? 2. Okay, so 2 is going to be the data which is available as a binary form in that signature file, but I don't know what is the actual word that I have to store. That will not be available for the users. Okay, so you can create and customize your own hash function, okay, which is more rigid enough so that no one can decode it. Okay, see, in this example, now I have to look for a particular pattern
See your
V2.
screen.
Okay, the screen is visible to you.
No, ma'am, it's not visible.
Ma'am.
Give me a minute. Uh, it is going into not responding mode. Okay, wait. Class. minute. I think it's been not responding mode. So we are discussing about the signature file, right? So what is the thing that I have tried to say at that point is, given any block of data that you have in the signature file, for every word that is available in your block, okay, a hash function will be applied. Okay, hash function. For example, I'll give you some example of how we can apply some hash functions. Okay, if I have my blocks of data, okay, like 33, okay, this is going to be some equivalent code for every text. Okay, for example, I am saying for every text I'll be converting it into some numerical value. Okay, 42, 70, um, 71, 81. Okay, in this way I have some text data. So instead of this number, some text data is going to be available. Okay, so now my hash function is, okay, this is going to be my a signature file, a mod some value 10. Okay, its result is going to be stored, which is available in my result. Okay, so I'm going to create a hash for hashing value for this. Okay, so this will get hashed towards some value 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, so this is going to be a1, text 1, text 2, text 3, text 4, text 5. Okay, so this will be hashed towards a1, will be hashed to 3, because 33 mod 10 will be 3. Okay, 42, so 2, that means a2 will be in 2. Okay, a3 70, so it will be available in 0. Okay, a4, so obviously this will be available over here. Okay, and then 81, so it will be available here in a5. Okay, so in this way I will be having a6, a7, many hash values will be available. Now what you need to understand here is, for every text you will be creating a hash function. You have to apply, okay, we have to design a hash function which should be rigid enough so that the result of a hash function, okay, can never lead to decoding the text which you're trying to secure. That is the hash function. You have, it is the user defined function. Okay, there is no strict hash functions like this is the way you have to create a hash function. There is no any rules. There is no standard hash functions. Based upon your application, you can come up with your own hash function. Okay, and then by applying this hash function, every word will come up with a unique hash value. That is the thing that you need to, and that is the thing that you need to make sure when you're applying some hash function. For example, if you see here, a4 and a6 are coming under same hash value 4. Okay, so this will return the same hash value 4. So what will happen? Hash collision will happen. Hash collision will happen. So you have to create a hash function in such a way that no two or more than one text, okay, or the thing that you need to store should not collide with same hash value. Okay, all the hash values that your hash function is going to return as the result should be unique. Okay, so for example, if I have another thing like hash of from, for example, I'm using from, this is the same as words 100 100. What will happen? This is called as hash collision. Okay, so for a given signature file, okay, sometimes they will ask you to design the hash function, so it is up to you to give some unique values and you can proceed with that. Or in other words, okay, in some situations you will be given this hash values for every word will be given to you. Okay, and in the next stage they will ask you to find out the hash value for each block. For each block you have to create a hash value. Okay, and the next important task of a signature file is, signature file is meant for creating some a searching operation. For optimizing the searching operation, you can use signature file. So in this case, if I want to search for a particular pattern called as made, okay, what is the hash value for this term made? 001100. Okay, so what is the algorithm for this searching operation? You have to perform bitwise or between the word and the hash value of the block. Okay, hash value of the particular word, okay, bitwise and with the hash value of the particular block. If the bitwise and of this word hash value and block hash value returns the same value as that of the hash value of the word, then it means that particular pattern is available in your signature file in that particular block. This is what your signature file will perform the searching operation. Okay, so two important things is available. First is you have to find the hash value of the words. Okay, it will be in most of the time it will be given to you. Okay, you have to identify the hash value of the block. So this is the first two preliminary prerequisites you have to handle whenever a signature file is given to you. In the next step, you have to perform a search operation. Given a situation like you are supposed to search for a particular word, okay, particular word in your signature file, you have to make use of this technique. Perform the bitwise or between the word and the block. If it returns the hash value as the same that of the hash value of the word, then it means that particular text block contains the word. Okay, if it is if none of the word in the block is going to return the same as that of the hash value, if this particular condition is not getting satisfied, that particular pattern is not found. You got it? So now you see here, we have already created the block hash value. Now the next thing is I'm going to search for a pattern. Okay, so hash value of made. What is the hash value of made actually? Made we have 001100. It is given to you. Okay, so now what you're going to do is you're going to perform this search operation for this pattern. In which block it is available? That is my question. In which block this particular term were made is available? Okay, so we have already have some text of data. Okay, this is a letter, this is a text has many words. Words are made from letters. Okay, we don't know in which block that particular word is available. Okay, so what we are going to do is we are going to perform bitwise or bitwise AND operation between this made and the first block. Hash value of this with this bitwise AND. You will perform the bitwise with all the blocks and you identify which block is returning a value the same as that of the hash value of the pattern that you are looking for. So you just see which word is giving the result. You see this is available with the block 4, which means in block number 4, I have that particular term made. Okay, so this is how a signature file will be more efficient in storing the record in a very simplified manner. See, instead of storing this entire text, okay, I'm going to store only this 6 bits, how many bits? 6 bits of values, which is available in the signature file. See, the signature file is also an alternate way of creating the index for a text file. You got it? For in other words, if I have to create an index, inverted index means what will happen? I will have text. Okay, text is available in block 1, block 2. Okay, and then many is available in block 2. So in this way, you will create an inverted index. Am I right? It is a word is available in block 3. 2 times it is available in bracket we can write, and then we can have it as made is available in block 4. So this is what inverted index is. Instead of storing this type of data, alternatively you can go for the signature files also. Okay, that is the reason why we are going for this. This is made with very few number of bits. The bits that is required for storing, comparing with inverted index, the signature file will be less. But the drawback of the signature file is this is not compatible with when you're encountering a file which is of huge bytes of data or huge bits of data. Okay, this is limited to certain bytes of data, not a GB or TBs of data. If you try to create index file, it is very, very difficult. Okay, so this is one. This is the concept with this inverted index. And another important concept is there is a concept called as dropout. Okay, dropout ratio. Okay, so what is this dropout ratio is if the block is not found, okay, the pattern that you're looking for is not available in any of the blocks which is available with your text data. At that time we will say that particular concept as false alarm, or we will say it as dropout. Okay, what does it mean is the block, none of the block contains the particular term. In some worst cases, okay, it will return some value the same as that of the word that you're looking for. The hash value will get matched, but the data but the word will not exist. For example, here if I have some other words, okay, I have such a hash function value, so that if I perform bitwise AND operation between the block value and the actual hash value of the pattern that I'm looking for, it will return the same hash value. Okay, it will satisfy the condition, but there will not be the word. The word will not be found. Okay, so in such cases, we will say the condition as false alarm. Okay, so when this false alarm will happen is, okay, if you're having a worst hash function which returns the result for more than two blocks. See, this block and this block have same hash value, or this word and this word. I have told you, right? For some letters also, this is returning 1100. So if I search for made, or if I search for letters, okay, it will return to made, because both the words have the same hash value. If I look for made, but the word that exists there may be letters, so what happens? There will be a false alarm will happen. Okay, even though it is returning the correct answer by performing bitwise on the operation, if any two um, words have the same hash values, okay, so at that time this false alarm will happen. Okay, that means what? I'm looking for some word, even though if it satisfies the condition, the word is not found there. Instead, some other word is available which has the same hash value as that of the word that I'm looking for. Okay, so such a condition is called as false alarm. Okay. So the next concept is suffix trees and suffix arrays. I thought of starting this concept. Due to this issue, I couldn't. Okay, so this suffix trees and suffix arrays. This is also an alternate way of creating some easier way of identifying some patterns in your text data. Okay, so dear students, this particular unit we are dealing only with text data. Am I right? So initially we had seen about inverted index. We have seen, okay, and then index compression we have seen, and in this index compression only we have seen Golang encoding, alias gamma, alias beta, variable byte encoding we have seen. Now then later we have seen about signature files we have seen. Okay, now in the same order, okay, Now, if you want to make some quick and easy retrieval of some text data, okay, or some pattern from a huge text data, you can go with some data structure. Okay, this is actually a data structure that will make your searching task to be very simplified. Okay, very simplified form of data retrieval from a text data can be done using the suffix trees or and suffix arrays. I will just go straightly into here. Okay, so suffix tree and suffix array will help you to make searching over the index over the indexed data very easier. Okay, for that what you will do is you will create some suffix for the given text data and you will store it in a suffix tree data structure. You see here missing, I have Mississippi. You just ignore this M. Okay, the next set of suffixes can be created. You ignore I, you will get the next set of suffix. So in this way you can create some simplified form of suffixes you can generate from a given text. Okay, so now how to create a suffix tree. Okay, you see this, you will start with 1 2 3 4 up to some n values, that is length of your data. So how you will create this as a data structure of a suffix tree is you will have a root node. Okay, so you will be starting you'll be starting with, okay, you will be starting with M and OPQRS. It will go this side. Okay, and all the data which is going to be available for any other pattern will be available on this particular left side. Okay, so there will be a root node. So you will be making this suffix tree. Okay, so that the pattern can be found in a very easiest way. See here, this way if I see, I will just go to missing. Okay, missing, I will go over here. Okay, and then in this way if I go over here, I'll go with Mississippi. Okay, so I will go over here, and then once if I go to S, I have SIP is there. See this SIP I can find out. Okay, so and then IPISIN. Okay, so this will be used for missing. Okay, Mississippi, and then yes, IS is there, right? So IS will be there. So in this way you can create the structure of your entire text data in a form of a tree. Okay, that is called as a suffix tree. So in order to make this more efficient, they have come up with a concept called as this is going to be a suffix tree. Okay, so what they will do is this will be for missing. Okay, same as that of the thing. Now what they will do is they will create the agree. They will join some of the terms which are having the majority of pattern. For example, if you see over here, MISSING is there. Okay, and then you have you have this pattern MISSISS. Okay, you have this, right? So you see what is the common term characters which matches with both the text. Okay, both the suffixes. So you can have MISS as a separate node, and later this will be like missing. Okay, this is going to be the node. So if I go over here, I will have this ING. So this will leads to the pattern missing. So if I go to this another particular node, okay, I'll be having Mississippi, SSIPPE. So in this way, I can have the suffix tree. So what is the use of the suffix tree is you can compress any two words, okay, that have some common pattern. Okay, based on the pattern you can still more reduce the tree storage structure. Okay, in order to efficiently make use of the disk storage. Okay, because storing this two times. Okay, MISSING, for this I am having a tree. Again, MISS, IIS, IPPI. So this way this goes missing and this way this goes missing. Instead of this, this particular pattern is common only, right? So I can make this as one single node so that I will further extend my other patterns which is available in my suffix tree. So using the suffix tree, you can still able to reduce the space. Okay, I'll show this example. You see over here, this is going to be the text. Okay, so I will create the suffixes for all the text and I will check whether there is any common pattern between the text. Okay, so I will create it as a suffix tree. Okay, so if you look over here, I will number all the words that is available in the suffix tree. Okay, and I will make it as L M N R W A E O. Okay, so these are all the words that is okay, which is going to be many. You can find it over here. Okay, and then you can find the letters over here, LETTERS letters over here. Okay, and then you can find the text over here. Text will be over here, and then you'll be having made over here, MADE. So if you have MA, you can have D over here, DE. This way will go made, and then this way will get many. So MA is going to be the common term. So in this way you can create a suffix tree. So what is the difference between this suffix trie and suffix tree is, here you will mention the terms along the characters that you are looking for in each state diagram. But in case of a suffix tree, you will be merging this entire node as one single node and you will give the value for that. Okay, so that is the difference between suffix tree, suffix trie and suffix tree. Okay, so we'll see this extension of these concepts in the next class. Okay, either we can go for suffix array is also available, so we'll see about this in the next class. Okay, so dear students, just type in your register number and
Ma'am.